Hi, I'm L Director. This is L Director Vision, and today on Truck Talk, why I am mostly vegan. So, I know you may not be able to tell from watching some of my survival videos and such, but I am actually mostly a vegan vegetarian now. I wasn't raised that way, of course. I'm not doing it for religious reasons and things like that. It's really just a matter of health for me, and so this is kind of now building off of the parkour aspect that we talked about last time, because we're talking about health right now this week. So I was first introduced to this. I don't know where I'm going to go with this, by the way, but I was introduced to vegetarianism and being vegan through a friend that was Seventh-day Adventist before I'd become Seventh-day Adventist. And she, at the time, I don't think was completely vegan, but she definitely was vegetarian. And so I just remember thinking that was a little bit odd. And then I dated the girl whose family would ultimately encourage me to study the Bible for myself, and they, of course, are completely vegan, and they introduced a concept to me about milk. Now, up until this point, I'd been, a meat eater, dairy drinker, and eater consumer of all sorts of stuff like that. But I had kind of whittled my way back from like whole milk to 2% to 1%. And actually at this point in time, I was drinking skim milk. And because I was always looking for the healthiest options. I always wanted to do what was best for my body. And I was convinced that, skim milk was the way to go. Give me a second here, get out of my little neighborhood. And so I'm with this girl's family, and they just drilled me with all sorts of questions over the course of that weekend, and one of them was, well, hey, do you drink milk? And I said, yes, I do. I said, but I only drink skim milk now because that's healthier. And they just flat out told me that no, that wasn't healthy, and that all milk is bad for us, and that milk is actually not good for the human body. And of course, I've been programmed growing up with the milk, it does the body good commercials, and Got Milk with the milk mustaches and everything like that. I'd been programmed to think that milk is a good thing for us. And they're like, no, it's not the case. It causes osteoporosis. It causes, it actually causes bone loss. It doesn't help with bone loss. And I was just like, what? So, after the girl and I broke up, and I was trying to sort through things on my own and such, I remember thinking, well, I'll try some soy milk just to see how it is. And I remember seeing in their fridge the soy milk they had was vanilla, and so I tried that. And it was really, really good. I thought, wow, this is like having a milkshake every morning, on your cereal and stuff. This is great stuff. And the other thing I noticed about that is that I had no more like phlegm built up in the back of my mouth. With cow milk or animal products, you get kind of a phlegmy material because all humans are actually somewhat allergic to this stuff, and we just don't know it. And you don't realize it until after you switch to something else, the better alternative, just how terrible for us it actually is. So all the phlegm was gone, no more runny nose, all that stuff was just no more of an issue. I thought, this is great, soy milk all the way. Of course, then through doing more studies and research, I learned that actually soy milk is not good for men, because it contains, the soy products have a higher level of estrogen in them, and it can throw men's hormonal systems out of whack. So I switched over to almond milk, and I haven't looked back since. And I love the kind of nutty taste of it. I get the vanilla flavor, and it's really good. I've tried the unsweetened kind, and it's just like, bleh, it doesn't do it for me. I gotta have it a little bit sweet. But so that's where I'm at now with the milk products. I very, very, very rarely will eat cheese anymore. If I'm making a pizza, I get Daiya, which is a synthetic cheese. And so I roll with that because, again, the cheese products create the mucus in the back of your throat, and so that's not good for us. The one exception I do make occasionally is butter, but I don't use a lot of butter for stuff, mostly just to make my pans greased for when I'm cooking. But otherwise, I don't eat butter. The exception to all this stuff, of course, is like when I travel overseas, because I am still a survivalist, and it's like, I know that different cultures have got different ways of eating and doing things, and honestly, the milk and the butter and stuff you can get overseas, where like this literally came from a cow down the street, as opposed to the grocery store where it's been pasteurized and all that other garbage they do to this stuff, it's so much better for you. And actually, I noticed I don't suffer a lot of the same side effects. Like when I was in Lithuania last May, they are a very dairy heavy culture, it seems like. And we had this thing called zeppelini, and there's a lot of milk and cheese mixed in with that. I didn't have the mucus in the back of my throat, so that tells me it's something about the American way of doing things that supposedly they say is better for us is actually making it worse for us. And I'm not saying it's a conspiracy or anything, but that's just, the fact of the matter. So then let's now talk about animal products and stuff like that too. They're building off the conspiracy aspect. There is so much growth hormone and garbage that is being placed into the animals when they're being raised today that it's not even healthy. You go to the store and you get a steak and you think, oh yeah, this is steak just like I used to be able to get in the 1950s when I was a kid growing up. This is the older people talking, of course, and it's just not the same. First of all, they're like, especially let's take hamburger, they're bleaching the snot out of it with ammonia and things like that to try to kill all the bad bugs and things. But guess what? We end up then ingesting that ammonia when we eat it. And I remember the last time I actually bought the stuff from a grocery store, you ripped open the packaging, you could actually smell the ammonia on the meat. And so I threw it right out. I thought, I'm not ingesting that stuff. So it's because of how our food industry and all the stupid standards that the FDA has put in place, supposedly for our protection, it's ruining everything, and it's really making the stuff unsafe for human consumption now. So my general guiding rule when it comes to meat products is that if I don't kill it, I don't eat it. And I will extend the if I don't kill it to, friends and family that have gone hunting and things like that. So that's why if you watch my shows, when I'm out backpacking, I have no problem catching and eating a fish. I'm totally fine with that. It is a readily available food source when I'm out there. I know where the fish are coming from. I know what's in these lakes. It's a much, much better situation. Will I go and buy, some tilapia or something like that from the store? Will I buy trout from the grocery store? Absolutely not. Because most of the stuff is farm raised, and they're feeding them the hormones and stuff to make them bigger and plumper. And this is part of the reason why Americans are so obese today. We are a fat country, and it's not just the fast food that we're eating, it's everything. Everything you buy at the grocery store has been loaded down with this junk, this garbage, and it's making us a fat nation. And there's other reasons I think that maybe play into why they've done this to us, but we won't go there in this video. This is all just about why I've switched away, to a mostly vegan diet. So as it stands, because I don't live on a farm, I don't hunt and fish enough regularly to be a main staple of my food source. For me, going vegan is the healthiest alternative right now, because I can shop at a normal grocery store and get things that then I can eat that I know are not loaded with the preservatives. And unfortunately, the only way to do that is to shop vegan. So that's why I have switched my diet around to this, and I hope that makes sense for a lot of you guys. If you got any questions about this, leave them in the comments below. What else can I talk about my switch? That's the big reason, though, is just the health aspect of it. Once I started parkour, I found myself in a cycle, and that was I started to train, and because of my training, I wanted to eat better so I could train better. And when I did that, I started seeing better results. And so the better results make me want to eat even better, and so I could train even better and then see even better results. And so I found myself in the cycle the first few years I was doing this, and I was experimenting on myself. I would try out all sorts of crazy diets and health regimes and all sorts of stuff like that just to see what works and what doesn't. And honestly, if you're looking to lose weight, the best thing you can do is go vegan. You're not going to get all the fats and stuff like that from the meat products. The fats that you do get from fruits and vegetables are going to be healthy fats, the fats that your body can actually use, and it's not going to store up and make you fat and keep you fat. So if you guys are looking to lose weight, seriously, switch to a vegan diet. Now, I will admit that when I was making the switch over, I was not convinced that there was enough stuff to eat. I thought this is going to be boring. I'm just going to be eating raw celery and carrots all the time. And that's totally not the way it is. When I lived in Montana, my last year there, I ended up staying with these two families, and they were vegan. And oh my goodness, the foods that are available on the vegan diet are amazing. And the kinds of cooking you can do, you can cook and make like lasagnas and, gosh, what was another? It was not a casserole. but it reminded me of a casserole, but it tasted so much better. I've had vegan French toast before. That is incredible. The vegan French toast, I think, is better than the real French toast. And I'm just like, my eyes have truly been open to the possibilities here as far as from a cooking standpoint. It's not boring. The food tastes better. And as another even better side effect is that I feel better afterwards. I'm not feeling burdened down with all the meat and all the animal products and stuff like that. In fact, I was just at Subway recently, and I order the veggie patty. Now, I don't know what's in the veggie patty, but it's the most vegetarian thing I can find on the menu there, and still get some heft to the whole thing. And I said, yeah, I want the veggie patty, 9-grain honey oat, no cheese, avocado. And the guy kind of looks at me. He goes, dude, you are weird. I've never had anyone order these. I said, no, the veggie patties are awesome. I said, if I eat meat, I feel like I'm fat afterwards. I feel like I can't do anything. I said, but I like to do parkour. I like to be able to run and jump and climb. I said, if I eat the veggie patty, it gives me some heft, but I don't feel weighed down by it after. I feel like I can still go off and run and jump and climb. I don't feel fat. And of course, I look over and the woman in line in front of me is a very large woman, and she's kind of like sticking her nose up at me. So whatever, woman. And then he pulls the veggie patties out of the oven and he says, all right, what kind of cheese again? I said, no cheese. He goes, that make you feel fat too? I said, pretty much. And the woman again is kind of like looking at me. So I have avocado, and then I add lettuce, spinach, tomato, cucumber, black olives, salt and pepper, no oils, no dressing, no nothing like that. And it is absolutely delicious, and I can eat a 6-inch sub and still feel amazing afterwards. If I eat a foot long, I do feel a little bit heavy and like I want to take a nap, but I'm not, it's a different kind of heavy. It's not the McBrick you get from eating like a McDonald's or something like that. So that's what I order at Subway, but it was funny watching the lady, her reaction to what I was saying about the meat products, because she was getting like the bacon and the ham and the turkey and the beef on there. I mean, she had the whole meat sandwich deal going on. And I'm hoping that was a chance to maybe witness to her a little bit, because she could definitely stand to lose a little bit of weight. Let's see. So I don't script these things out ahead of time. I just try to, make it up as I go. So that's, the big advantage to going vegan. And the other thing I've noticed too is I don't get sick as much anymore. Now, granted, I have my super tonic that I make and I will consume when I do start to get sick. Super tonic, by the way, is apple cider vinegar, garlic, onion, ginger, horseradish, and the hottest peppers you can find, and you mash it all up and you shake it over the course of 2 weeks and let it kind of sit and ferment, for lack of a better term. It doesn't really ferment, but that's kind of what you're doing with it. And then at the end, you strain out the pulp and you've got super tonic, and super tonic will kick all the bad bugs, and it's really, really cool. But even though I've got the super tonic, I don't take it on a daily basis, and I've noticed that since going predominantly vegan, I very rarely get sick. When I do, it's usually a flare-up of mono, because I had mono a couple years ago, and that likes to come back once a year and kind of flare up again for a week, and I'm down and out. But otherwise, I really don't get sick too often. If I do, it's like food poisoning or something like that, and that happens maybe once a year. So that's been really cool too, is I found that my immune system is better because I'm giving my body the things it actually needs it can use, rather than the stuff that, I think my body needs. And I know there's a lot of talk out there about the stuff, and there's a lot of controversy about, oh no, we need your meat. Where are you gonna get your protein? It's, dude, there is so much more protein in like beans and lentils and such like that per pound compared to servings of meat. So you can eat the same amount of beans versus the same amount of meat, and you're gonna get more protein in the beans. It's awesome. So if you're concerned about protein, there's another reason to switch to a vegan diet. In fact, do some research, you'll find there's actually vegan bodybuilders out there who look absolutely amazing. And so why don't you ask them where they got their protein from? All right, well, I am about to make my turn off the highway and onto the county road. So I will say peace out. And like I said, let me know in the comments what you would like to hear me talk about here on Truck Talk. I'm L Director Vision. No, I'm not L Director Vision. I'm L Director, and you're watching L Director Vision. We'll see you next time.